This is Keith Boggs. This is inspection debrief for 1426 Pecos. First picture you see here is a picture of the front of the house. This is the approximate direction the house is facing, which is approximately south. This is the temperature when I got here. So the temperature's here for a couple of reasons. It has to be above 60 before we can test the air conditioning. So it hasn't gotten above 60 so far today. So we can't test the air, but we were able to test the heat. So these two pictures here, they will not be in the report, just for our benefit. This is a little short video. This little red thing here is called a low flow indicator. So one of the very first things that I do is, let me flip it, is check to see if there's any kind of supply leaks. So I've got a little video here for about 30 seconds, just kind of staring at that low flow indicator to see if there's any minor supply leaks, and there wasn't. So we're going to play this just so you have it for the video. But again, this also will not be in the report. So I'm looking for that. I'm looking for that to move it to stay completely still.
So that's a good sign.
Yep, it means no supply leaks. It's very sensitive. You barely put that water on it. It will move very slowly, but it'll move.
Okay.
They don't miss a drop of water, believe me. It should stop here in a minute. Yeah, it's almost done. This is the location of the water meter. This picture will be in the report because we have the state requires we report that. Looks like that front column there, looks like some people, when they were moving in the past, they backed into that and hit that. So that looks like impact damage, not from any kind of structural movement on that column right there.
Mm-hmm.
So usually both of these work, whether there or there.
I think if you have the cursor outside of.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
This is the water pressure. The water pressure to the house. So the normal water pressure is between 40 and 80. You're at 60. You do have a 3-story unit. I did notice that the sinks upstairs, when you turn them on, it's not really coming out strong. The shower was fine, but there's a kind of weak. So we can check it out later. Kind of weak flow at the sinks. But we'll show you that later. Oops. Too far. This is both the front and the back spigot. I don't know if you can see my hands wet there.
Mm-hmm.
They both have leaks in them, so both those front and back spigot need to be repaired. That's just where it's located. This is one of your units. You've actually got one on the roof also. This is your one out front there.
Oh, there's 2 units?
2 units, yep. Two.
Is there 2 furnaces?
Yep. Yep. There's one above the tub in the first floor bedroom, and then there's one in the hallway, which is where the water heater is. These 2 pictures are really just for me, but that's manufacturer's label. So
2002. So that was the original.
Yep. Yeah, it's a train though. They can last a lot. They can last. I've seen them 40 years old before. That's unusual, but sprinkler system. I'm assuming it must be controlled by the homeowner association because it's locked right now. You can't get to test it. So it did go off when I was here because I was in the back doing stuff. The panel box. When I ran out front, it was all wet. So the sprinkler system ran when I was here.
There's no owner association in this building.
There isn't?
No.
That's very unusual.
Yeah.
So that should be your responsibility as well as the roof too. Then.
Yeah.
That's pretty unusual.
So there must be a key somewhere.
Yeah.
We'll find out.
This is showing a little bit of structural movement at the front with the rock veneer and the brick veneer.
And that's just aesthetic.
Yeah, that's just aesthetic. Yeah. So just around here, you can do what's called repointing it. It's not like out in the front here. I don't like to repoint things when they're in the front unless it's absolutely necessary, because repointing a crack can make it look worse than having a crack.
Okay.
If you've seen some Dallas houses, they look terrible. They've repointed it, it looks just like crack. This is the back spigot. Yeah, you can't see it, but it's leaking right there.
Okay.
That's just the location of it. This is your central vac system, and you don't see too many of these, especially in condos or apartments. This type of thing. Usually, you see them in houses, and you don't see them in houses that are fairly new, which this is. I did test it to see if it comes on. I don't carry one of the hoses, so I don't know if each port sucks properly, but the unit did come on. Well, this is a test of the garage roof. I did 2 tests. I do a pressure test, so when it hits this, it should reverse. and then do an electronic eye test. So this is a little short video of those two tests. Should hit that and then back up in a second or two.
That's characteristic of the
It hasn't happened yet. I usually put something smaller than that. But, that was the electronic eye there. Okay, this is inside the panel box. So these are, you see up right here, you got a single neutral wire going to that terminal.
Mm-hmm.
Then here you got 2 wires going to the terminal, 2 wires going to the terminal, 2 wires going to the terminal. So that's called double tapping. So that's a fire hazard. Could damage equipment, and if you had a home warranty, it could void your home warranty. And that's inside of the sub panel box, which is this little small one. And the regular panel box was fine. No issues in there.
Also, there's 2 panels. There's one.
Mm-hmm. One sub panel.
So was it this one?
Yeah,
Okay.
sub panel. Yeah. Then in there's another. When they installed this, let me get back up here.
And it's art.
Well, no, that will not only one of them is.
Okay.
Come on.
So the bedrooms are full.
One breaker. I don't think it's covering all the bedrooms, but maybe. So in this panel box, I guess you can't see it. Let me take a picture of the outside.
Is the wire long enough to?
You can't see it. So this is the arc fault right here, and they ran this wire across to this single. It's a separate bus bar they installed specially for this one arc fault. But they left these double taps here. But you can see the wires are long.
Long enough to go.
Yeah, you're just basically flipping them from here to here. They should be long enough. So I'm not sure why they did that one thing, but they didn't do the other thing. Maybe it was a money thing. They want to spend the money. This is you can tell, it's a vent, exhaust vent that's missing its cover. That needs a little. And you could get wind driven range coming in there. So it needs a little vent hood.
Bird.
Yep. Yep.
Animals.
Yep. Yep. That's just way at the very top there. This is one crack I saw at the front. Mostly goes through the mortar. It does crack this one brick here. The age of the house, this is not structurally significant. This is a perfect example. You probably can't even tell when you walked up that there was a crack there. You repoint this. If you don't get a good mortar guy and he repoints this, this is going to go from something that you can barely see to something that's going to stand right out. It's going to pop right out. It's a different color, which they often are. If you want to repoint it, you can do that. Just make sure the guy does a sample somewhere where it's kind of hidden, like a sample of mortar, to see if he can match the color properly.
Okay.
There's a vapor barrier behind there. It's not going to hurt anything. You're not going to get water intrusion.
Okay.
That's just right up in here. This is your filter at the first floor. Very, very dirty. And the other filter was also very dirty. So these are 1-inch filters. They should be switched every month, every 30 days. That's where it's located. This is probably me being a little picky. See the water dripping here, that shower head.
Yeah.
So it's kind of leaking. It's not going to cause any problems. Just.
And you see that often if it's not used for a while.
Yeah.
And then if you start to use it,
It starts to go away.
Yeah, you get some calcium in it. It clogs it up a little bit. Or just put a new head on it and don't worry about it. Although some heads can get expensive. This is the first air handler furnace. This is above the tub down there. It's right up there. One thing it doesn't have is a float switch on a condensate line. I'd recommend the sellers aren't required to do that. It wasn't code when this was installed, but I'd recommend doing it because it's only about $150 to have the HVAC guy do it, and for $150 to protect your house.
so is that over the tub?
Yeah.
So
Over the tub downstairs, right?
Yeah. Over the
Okay.
tub downstairs. Yeah.
So if it leaked, really, we're going to tell, right?
Not necessarily. It depends where it leaks at. You're going to put the condensate switch right here at the end of right into the pan.
Yeah.
So this goes if it broke somewhere in here, if there's a problem in there.
Oh, there's a pan there?
Yeah, there's a pan here. Yeah, right here. Actually, this is the pan right there.
Okay.
And then actually probably put it on this secondary. This normally these secondaries, they put a hole in here, and they put the secondary where through the hole, and that way it just drips into the tub. I didn't do that here though. This is the center window right here. I could not get it open. It's because there's a broken tension bar on the right side. So that window needs to be repaired. This one right here. The tension bar right on that side is sticking out. You can look at it if you want. This is the fireplace. Fireplace, the pilot was not lit, so we need to confirm with the sellers that it does work. This is above the fireplace, and there's no power going to that outlet.
Oh.
So that definitely needs to be fixed. It's probably where you're going to put your TV, I'm guessing.
Right. That's, yeah.
Yeah, so no power there. This is another showing a little bit of structural movement here behind the sink. You may have noticed that around the perimeter of the splash wall here. Right there. You can look if you want to.
Okay.
Over here. That's showing a little movement. So it's all the way around. That's it right about, yeah, almost all the way. Right about there.
So that means something is moving.
That's showing some structural movement. Yeah.
And is this crack right here too?
Yeah, there's a crack. Yeah, there's a couple of small crack right here.
So that's when they did it. I bet it was wet when they.
That was wet.
When they did it, and they crack it. It's typical. When you manipulate granite, you cannot lift it when it's wet. If you lift it wet,
It'll
the
snap. Yeah.
So this needs to be really just caulked around here. This is your dishwasher. This is showing that I did test it. I did get a little higher. It got up to 98. When I got back down here to do the final test, it already turned off. So I'm not sure if it reached the 120 that it's supposed to, but it was heating. This is this spout here. It's stuck in place.
Why does it move?
No. And if you push it, probably they call it a leak. Okay. That's probably the homeowner just kept on tightening it to stop a leak or something. He made it so tight that he can't use it now.
Would that be the water that we saw on the roof of the garage if that was leaking?
Possibly could be. Yeah.
Could be.
That door's going to fall off. I didn't notice that before.
Yeah. This is just the disposal. I did test the disposal, filled both the sinks, drained them. No, there weren't any leaks today. This is the temperature when the heater was on, 104. They did get up about 110, so the heater was working properly. I think I've got another heat reading. This is your microwave, and then this is me testing the microwave to show that it does work. This is your cooktop, and that bottom left burner there does not work. You can light it manually with a lighter, but you can't. It won't light from here. That may actually be the problem. Sometimes if these aren't perfectly centered, it won't work. This wasn't igniting yet. Yeah.
So there's not even anything.
But you can, I lit this one with a light. Guess I didn't. That needs to be fixed.
So there's, I don't know if you've seen that, there's a little
Like almost like a starter, right?
Yeah, exactly what it is. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's a little, yeah. And it may be a matter of just get some sandpaper on that and cleaning it. Yeah. But it's not even making the noise.
There's no click. Yeah,
there's no click.
something mechanical that's not.
Something's going. Yeah. That's just showing you that's the burner that doesn't work. These are your double ovens. This is both set to 350, and they both heated to right around 350. So they both are fine. Oven light does not work. And the last thing is the fan in there doesn't work. The fan it never came on, so they didn't service the double ovens. Find out what's going on there. This is the drain pan at the washer there, and it's broken. You can see it on both sides.
Right here?
Yep. Oh, okay. I'm looking at both the left side. Right side. And the new pan there.
So the pan, is it where it exit?
Yeah, it's plumbed.
It's plumbed?
Yeah. This toilet, this powder bath, you can jiggle it. It needs to be tightened up. That's something you can do yourself too. There's two little bolts there. You just tighten a little bit on each side and then jiggle it. Don't just crank on it because you'll crack the toilet. This is the water heater. We already talked about that. The water heater does. Well, that's just a label. This is the water in the pan. So that's probably the biggest thing. Water heater, probably what, $1,500 for water heater.
$1,000,
yeah.
It's not in the attic. So.
Yeah. This is your other air handler furnace, and then this is a video of the burner compartment. So we're going to be looking here in a second at these flames. You want nice blue flames. See how they are, nice blue, no yellow or orange color in there. Just nice, good blue flames, good combustion. So it's operating and it was heating fine. So it was operating good. Filter filthy. That needs to be switched out. That will void your warranty. Dirty filters. This is a smoke detector. It's obviously hanging from the ceiling in the master. That needs to be repaired. I'm just showing you that's just where it's at.
Mm-hmm.
So on the third floor, we weren't getting real good. It was heating. That was about 95 degrees. If you notice earlier down here, I had like 104. So it's about 10 degrees cooler up there.
And that's the one in the top.
That's the
master.
Right in the master.
So it goes probably the
The longest, probably the longer run. Yeah. Yeah. This is just some damage to the siding here on the patio. You can see across there. That's just actually one piece to replace. Yeah, that's a bad picture right across there. This is just showing you when I was filling the tub, this is what was coming out of the hot water here.
So it really needs to be replaced.
Yeah, definitely needs to be replaced. The sink's at it too. Tub does not have a access panel here. That's required by code, but they often don't install them because they say people don't like the way they look. So that's missing an access panel. That's old code. This is a crack at a tile right here in the corner.
Mm-hmm.
This is your roof unit. That also looks new. That's manufactured for me. This is the only other thing on the roof. This is a pretty, you can't really tell this is watermarks out here. They actually go out past here. It's starting to cause some of this patchwork that they do around here to lift up. You see right there? So this is to protect from water intrusion into the house.
Right.
So it's ponding water, which when it's ponding like that, this kind of stuff can happen. You got ponding water over time. Even here is starting to come up. Gets a little bit of water under there, which loosens up the adhesive.
See, and we kind of look at that.
Yeah.
The thing is, it looks like there's a patch.
Yeah.
But they put a new roof just. So I don't know what happened.
Well, they should have put. When they put these new roofs on, there's a material, I can't remember what it's called, that they can put in these areas that are like this, causing ponding. Will make that water very vapid, very shallow. It'll evaporate a bunch easier. So this could be repaired, but the drain is over here. And so it should all drain towards the drain. This is a great roof, but any roof can be compromised if you got something, causing problems with it. But it's it's like probably a 25-year roof. For a flat roof, most flat roofs are 10 years, 12 years. They don't last any time at all. This is called a TPO roof, which is a more expensive, much better quality roof. But again, you've got this compromise in the roof. So they need to get up there and they need to fix that area where it's ponding. and then they did to fix them that heat. It's called heat seal. They did heat seal that patchwork. So because that should not be able to pull it up. So the next thing would be getting underneath here, and then into the structure. Here you can see the watermarks come way out to here.
Oh yeah. So that is
So,
fixable though, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, a good roof guy he doesn't have to even see the water on there to know that he can tell by the coloration. This stuff I'm not worried about. That's very minor. It's just it's such a large area here.
And that would be right over top of the master bedroom or master
Yep.
bathroom too, right?
Yep.
That's where they had the.
Yep.
Yeah.
That may be what's caused the problem. So.
Be cool to have a deck on top, huh?
People do that. In fact, there's a unit up there.
On either side.
Yeah, with
Yeah.
with a nice deck and
You just need a subfloor because I was looking
yeah.
because you can't do it. I was looking at it. It's not thick enough to ride on it, to walk on it. You know, like it's.
Oh, you mean the roof itself? So you're saying it needs some additional sheathing? Yeah.
To make it.
Structurally sound.
Yeah.
Well, just because you could walk on it, but you know, if you put a lot of weight, you may.
Damage the roof.
Yeah.
That's the last picture.
But that's reparable, right?
Fixable. Yeah. I can't. There's a material they put down, and it basically fills that void. So he makes it very shallow.
It's like a self-leveling thing.
Yeah, kind of like that. And the water won't. The water becomes so thin it just evaporates. And that's got to. I mean, it hadn't rained in a while, right?
It rained
2 days ago.
yeah, something like that. Because it's
So that's still standing after 2 days.
Saturday was raining.
Yeah, 2 days of standing is really too much. But that's probably what's caused the problem in the past. That's the last picture, though. Any questions? Really, I think the big thing is the water heater.
That